So I choose not. So I'm going to challenge you a little bit this morning. And this booklet right here, Mr. Randy, you may not can participate because you've probably heard a lot of these before. Our kids over that classroom, I guess it would be the older group of the kids, they do about once a quarter or so, they do a Bible trivia game. All right. I didn't get the buttons and all that kind of stuff. We're not going to do that this morning. But I want to challenge you a little bit, and I want to throw some questions out there. And it's kind of the format that they use. And see if you know some things. Don't know some things. See if you can come up with answers. Holler them out. I don't care. It don't matter. Don't matter. Maybe they'll lead to a discussion or 10. That's the whole idea behind this. I'm not going to ask you to answer the question, but if you know it, just say it. I don't want to embarrass nobody. Okay? Because I may not know them myself. I sat in there with them, and they'll embarrass you if you go sit in there with them. But challenge yourself one day. Go sit in that when they're having their game, competition, whatever. What is the greatest book that has ever been written? The Bible. You win. However they do it. How many days of creation were there? And what did God do on day 7? Okay. Without opening your Bible, what does Genesis 1:1 say? What is our number one goal on earth? You've listened to the kids, haven't you? You and Winston. Mm-hmm. Anybody besides Miss Seal? How many books are in the Bible? Okay. Number one goal on earth. Take as many people. That's a piece that we forget. But we're actually commissioned to do that, right? We are commissioned to go out and preach and teach and save souls. A lot of that, in a roundabout way, we've let that attitude of we forget about the commission thing to kind of dictate to where our world is today, because our world is about us. And it's not about, the Bible doesn't teach you that it's about me. It's about Jesus Christ. It's about God. It's about saving others and giving the hope. And I think if we would get back to that, remembering there is a commission that we've been given, that would probably help our world a whole lot. A whole lot, if we could put other people kind of in a circle as well. So that's a good point. That's a good point. How many books in the Old Testament? New Testament. Okay, how many men wrote the Bible? How many men were involved in writing the Bible? About 40. About 40. I'm going to turn your memory. How many churches are in the Bible? One. They wrote about a bunch of churches, didn't they? But there's one church in the Bible, right? Who built the church? Who built the church? Christ did. Can you, I hope you can, name the acts of worship? Sing, pray, give, teach, communion. Give communion. Lord's Supper. How does God talk to us? Through His Word. So, with that being said, if you're not in the Word, somebody explain to me what being in the Word means. Mr. Bob, what does that mean? Teaching others, that commission thing. Well, we have to be studying. That was the first thing. We have to be in it, which means we have to be participating in the Word by study. Can He talk to us if we're not in the Word? It's going to be hard, ain't it? It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. How do we particularly talk to God? Through prayer. Through prayer. The other day there was some I don't know what was going on. It was one morning we were starting work, TV was on, and it was something to do with the Queen of England. I don't know what was going on this week. And they were showing planes flying or something. That's what caught my eye. But it got my brain running a little bit. Have you ever thought about how intimidating it is a little bit if we allow it to be for us to have the ability to pray? That we can go to God ourselves and not have to go through somebody that takes it to the somebody that takes it to the queen, that takes it to the king. You know, it's our privilege, it's our privilege, blessing that we can just talk straight to God. That I don't have to go talk to Mr. Ronald first and then him relay it. Because y'all remember that game you used to play? I don't know if y'all ever played it. You know, South Montgomery, we was simple. Go Raiders. And, you know, where you start on one room and you whisper a secret. By the time it gets to the other side of the room, it's a totally different conversation. Well, you know, if we had to go with our concerns to somebody who went to the king, well, who knows what it would be by the time it got to them. It'd be all for them. Could be. You know, but we don't have to worry with that. That's an awesome thing. It's an awesome thing. It can kind of be a little intimidating at the same time to know that we're talking straight to God as well. We should remember that. Yes, sir? That's right. Mr. Ronnie, we talk a little bit every now and then. You know, we work a little bit. We talk a lot, probably. But anyway, he's heard me say this. In my opinion, there's been a lot of good books and papers written through history. But there's two writings that just are absolutely phenomenal to me. Okay? First one is the Constitution of the United States. Now, bear with me. Okay? This is not political. This has nothing to do with that. All those years ago, there was a group of men. I'm sure there was some ladies behind the men telling them what to do. So y'all take credit too. There was a group of people who decided this is what we need to do. And we're going to write these papers, and we're going to form these, whatever, laws, whatever you want to call it, to set some things in motion and in progress. What they wrote about all those years ago are things that we're dealing with today. Okay? It's like they had a guidance back then to know, well, we need to do this now because it could lead, if we don't do this, it could lead to this. That's tremendous. It's a tremendous writing. Well, how was it? The majority of those men they were religious men, right? In their own way. They believed in God. You know, they wrote it's on the dollar bill. God we trust. You know, if they didn't have a belief in a higher power, they would have never written it to start with. So that's one. But the most remarkable thing is this right here, this Bible. I don't know is in general that we give enough credit to the words of that Bible. Now, the sins that he wrote about, the stuff we need to be watchful for, that has been true since the day the Bible was written, and it will be the same things that will be true till the world ends. It's the same things. You know, it just blows my mind. The stuff we deal with today. Why is that? Man's heart has never changed. Yep. Yep. Sadly, it has not changed. That's right. They are. That's a good point. The heart has never changed. God knew our heart was going to be hard to deal with. Hardest thing to deal with. That was kind of one of the whole points behind it. It is. It was. Okay, so what did God make on day one? Don't sing the song. Day two. What did he make on day three? Flowers, the grass, the trees. Somebody's singing the song. Yeah. Day four was sun, moon, and the stars. Day five, probably Colt's favorite. Fish and the birds, fish and the fowl. Day six. All right. What did he do on day seven? Okay. So, did God make man and dinosaurs on the same day? Day six, he made the animals and the man, right? You ever thought about that? That's one of those little questions. Anyway, what tree were Adam and Eve told not to eat of? All right. Keith, you're the only one that can answer this. In what book of the Bible do we read about the creation? Should be Genesis. Genesis. I thought about Keith all day the other day. Keith loves the creation and all that kind of stuff. And I saw this group was at the whatever that place was called. Not the Ark, but the other place, whatever. The creation. Who were the first sons of Adam and Eve? What was Cain's occupation? What did he do? Mr. Bagents, you can't answer this. He was a farmer. He tilled the ground, right? What did Abel do? What was his occupation? All right. Whose sacrifice did God accept, Cain or Abel? Okay. And who committed the first murder that we know of? It'd be Cain. How did God punish Cain? What did he do to him? What did he tell him he would be on this earth forever? He'd be a fugitive, right? It means he wouldn't fit in. It means he'd have to always be looking behind him, right? People that don't live in the light still do that today, right? Still travels alone. Well, who was the third son of Adam and Eve? Oh, Seth. Can you name somebody, a man in the book of Genesis that did not die? Anybody? Enoch. Poppy. All right. Who was the oldest man in the Bible? Methuselah. Do you remember how old he was? 969. You know, we buried a lady that was 105. Was she done last week or so? 2 weeks in this year? And we got to talking about what she had seen in theory in 105 years change on this earth. You know, from just simple things to now. Can you imagine 969 years? Ooh, Miss Bob, I don't even think I want to know. I want to out. Anyway. Good point. Who found grace in the eyes of the Lord? There's a song. Noah did. And why did God destroy the earth with a flood? It's an interesting answer that she wrote on here, and it says, because every thought of man was wicked and or violent. Every thought they had. That means they weren't just doing bad. That's all they dwelled on was bad, was wicked, was meanness. You know, there was no good, period. Not even a thought of good. They did not have good days. They just had wicked days. Crazy. go. Who can tell me the name the books of history in the Old Testament? Name the books of history. They're going to have to go to Kristen's class. It's Joshua to Esther, right? Can you name the books of poetry in the Old Testament? Song of Solomon, Job, it's kind of poetry. Noah's 3 sons were. Okay. What kind of wood did you tell them to build that boat? How many days and nights did rain fall on the earth? 44. You remember what mountain the ark rested on? Y'all remember the mountain? Ararat. Remember they thought they found that 20 years ago? I don't know how long it's been. There was a TV show. You know, they thought they found a piece of wood or something kind of thing. What is the first thing that Noah did when he and his family came out of the ark? Built an altar and worshiped God, right? Probably took a deep breath, fresh air, clean, quiet, or whatever it was. Anyway, he didn't do that. First thing he did is he worshiped God, getting him through. There's a lesson behind that as well. Okay, we'll just leave that one. What was the token of a promise that God used to tell Noah that he would never destroy the earth with water again? What? That's not what the rainbow stands for. Another corruption. My son spent the week at Disney this week with with Josie and her family, and guess what it just happens to be? I don't think he ever wants to see another rainbow ever. Anyway, it is sad. It is awfully sad. Love a rainbow. It's one of the coolest things that's ever been is to walk outside. I mean, you tell people, "Did you see that rainbow?" You know, you actually talk about it and to let them corrupt. Yeah. And we've just let that just become corruption over whatever. No, I hope we don't. I hope we don't. I hope you always tell your children, grandchildren, neighbors, whoever, what the rainbow really does, what it means. So how many people were saved on the ark? 8. All right. Who's Abram's wife? Sarah. Became Sarah eventually. This one I had to think too much on. I didn't draw it up. Who was Abraham's father? Y'all remember who Abraham's father was? Terah. Terah. All right. What were the 3 promises God made to Abraham? Through his seed, all nations would be what? Blessed. A great nation and a great land. Okay? Do you remember who Sarai's handmaid was? You remember her name? Hagar. Good. Do you remember Hagar's son? Ishmael. Okay. Where was Sarai's handmaid from? What country was she from? J.W. turned his head. Finally stumped it. Egypt. Egypt. That was a good question. Do you remember what son they said was going to be like a wild donkey? Y'all remember that? She's got Ishmael right here. Esau probably was too, though. Who was Abraham's son of promise? Question's getting harder, ain't it? Isaac. Getting a little harder. Who was Abraham's nephew that lived in Sodom and Gomorrah? Lot. How were the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah destroyed? Fire and brimstone. What happened to Lot's wife? What'd she do? What'd she do wrong? She turned back. Lot's wife. Miss Lot. You ever thought about how hard that would be? Not to remember her name, but as you're leaving town, and you hear, I'm assuming there was noise with fire and brimstone. You know, I would fear people hollering, screaming, you know, houses burning, you know, children hollering. I feel like brimstone would be this, in my mind, it's this big old boulder rock that's on fire. You know, like we see in the movies coming. It's going to be, you know, chaotic. How hard it would be to not do that. People do it all the time. Everybody's dead. Everybody's dead. Because the first thing we'd have to do is this. We'd have to take a picture of that for whatever that would be worth. I didn't look back. But the world is still doing that. We're still looking back on that, whatever destroyed your life, whatever you went through. You know, there's stories behind all these stories. You know, there's lessons. You know, and one of the lessons right here is, you know, when your world has destroyed, but God has led you out of it, don't look back. Don't dwell on it. Just keep moving forward. You know, there's simple lessons in all the stuff. Put them right back in. You know, I got in a lot of trouble, Mr. Bob. You know, I can open my mouth and get pretty deep too quick sometimes. The only thing I said was, when it comes to prayer and turning those things over to God, you know, in whatever form you choose, if you're not doing it seriously and you're not really believing at 100% that when I pray to God that He's going to help me get through this, all I said was don't waste His time. Because He tells us to come to Him with open hearts, with truthfulness. When we ask for forgiveness, to truly ask for forgiveness. You know, to bring our problems, you know, and put them over on Him. Bear each other's burdens. He wants to bear your burden. And if we're not going to trust that He's really doing that, you know, all I said was to the person is to quit wasting his time. You know, they took it the wrong way. I didn't mean to take, you know, don't pray. I'm not telling somebody don't pray. I'm telling them when you pray, take it for real. Be serious about it. Know, trust, believe that it's really going to be what it is. He requires that. He does. He does. Okay. He sure did. We don't need to linger in it because we don't know. I don't want to. It happened the other day. And I don't want to keep dwelling on it because I don't think that's what we're supposed to do. But we are supposed to learn because He gives us things to learn off of. But the situation that happened in Texas at the school, Those are babies. All right? You know, now they don't know they're going to live to be 80 or 100 or 11. You know, none of us do. But again, there's lessons all around us on a constant basis, and the lesson we should take from that is there's evil in the world, and we don't know when our day is going to be. They didn't know. They're babies. They shouldn't know. They don't have a need to know. Parents didn't know. They kissed them goodbye like every day. But we shouldn't linger in that sin because we don't know. Because the more we linger in that sin, the closer that fire and brimstone is going to be behind us, and you know, we may do a Lot's wife thing. You know, when you know you got a problem, we should go run from it, fix it, run from it. All right, how many? I'm really challenging you now. How many of Abraham's trained soldiers did he take to rescue Lot when he was kidnapped? Somebody really got to be Old Testament history on this one. 318. 318 trained soldiers. He went. Who is known as the father of the faithful? Just told you his name. Father of the faithful. That would be Abraham. How many men came to Abraham to tell him that Sodom was going to be destroyed? How many times did that happen? Y'all remember? 3 times. That's right. Good. Why did God destroy the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah? Well, clearly they were wicked, right? How many, God told him, he said, if you can find how many righteous souls? 10. Now, was God challenging him at this point? Or was he just proving to him, I know how many righteous souls are here? He knew. He knew already that number was non-existent. He knew already. $50. Yeah. He knew the whole time. As Hunter says, we're fixing to hear the bus go in reverse because I'm fixing to run slam over. Okay? I'm not just going to go forward, we're going to go backwards as well because your mom and daddy here. All right? Think back when you was a kid and you went to mom and dad and you asked them a question. You knew the answer when you asked the question, but yet and still we all do that. Well, you know, my daughter was a champ at this. I tell her to her face. I ain't talking behind her back. She could start me on day 2. 2 days ahead. If I say this, I ought to get him thinking this. Then tomorrow I can do this. And then by the 3rd day, I can get him to say yes on this, right? She's champ at that. Should have been a lawyer. So we do God the same way. We know what we're supposed to be doing before we ever ask in prayer. We know we're right, wrong, or what needs to change, right? I just want to stay that close. But I'm going to ask anyway. Don't smile. You know it's true. She's smiling at you because she knows. Because you know what? Because he did the same thing. That's how he knows. And that's how you know because he did the same thing. And what you don't know is you probably don't consider your mom and daddy being super smart and special, but he had awesome parents. I get nothing. Ravens 5, he gives me nothing for that. He probably don't hear a word. Somebody poke him and wake him up. How old was Abraham when Isaac was born? You remember? How old was he? He was 100. Woo. Woo, Methuselah. Woo. You think riding to town was bad with it. Be 100 and have a baby, right? Woo. Who did Isaac marry? Y'all remember who he married? Somebody in here better know this name. Rebecca. That's close. Not close at all, right, Rebecca? That was not close at all, Poppy. Not close. You owe her lunch for that. I'm just checking if it was right. Name the two sons of Isaac and Rebekah. You remember? Jacob and Esau. Y'all remember which one of them liked to hunt and stay outdoors? Esau. Which one of them dwelled in tents? Didn't they all dwell in a tent at one point? Ever thought about that question? You know, not particularly Earth's question, but that comment. None of them lived in a truck or a travel trailer or a mansion. I had to do that for Andrew's boy. Talking about your house, Hunter. So which one of them was, who was almost offered as a sacrifice by his father? That story kicks me in the throat every time I read it. Every time. So who stopped Abraham from offering his son? God did, an angel of the Lord. And what was offered instead? A ram. It's over there the whole time. All right, so what did Abraham say to Isaac when Isaac asked him, we have the wood, we have the fire, but where's the sacrifice? God will provide. God will provide. That's that answer we already know, right? Got to trust Him. A little white lie. Yeah, He provided. Man. I'm glad we don't live by the Old Testament. When we come back. Yep. Well, he trusted God had sent. He trusted God had give him the son. He trusted God would give the sacrifice, whatever. Because he did. He did tell his workers. God will bring us back. Trust Him. Trust Him. Okay, well, y'all have had your trivia.